The Sixers draft VJ Edgecombe and Johnny Broom. Let's overreact. Well, let's overreact to the overreaction. Trending in the AM. We are live talking all things Sixers draft and grading it in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. Please, guys, if wherever you're watching, hit that like button, that share button, and please subscribe. We're at 548 subscribers to end the week here. Let's see if we can gain a few today. And, of course, as always, vote on the poll question. Grade the Sixers draft. Your answers are A, B, C, or they still suck. Guys, make sure you're doing all this. It's free to do. Make sure you bring your thoughts and opinions on this Sixers draft where they have drafted VJ Edgecombe and Johnny Broom. We're going to break it all down, but we're going to break down the overreactions to the overreactions to the overreactions to the overreactions. And my social media firestorm because of one tweet about VJ Edgecombe that has literally not stopped blowing up my timeline over the last, 24, 36 hours. Kind of insane where we're at right now with this NBA draft. But guys, first and foremost, before you do anything, you hit that like button, you hit that share button, you subscribe, and you vote on the poll question. Guys, I'm Phil Stiefel, and the NBA draft is officially over now. For better or for worse, the Sixers with the third pick on Wednesday night took VJ Edgecombe, guard, to add to the backcourt of the Philadelphia 76ers. The round 2 selection was center from Auburn, Johnny Broom. We're going to get into that as well. A guy that may have already hit his peak in college. We won't know for a little while, but Sixers fans are a weird, crazy bunch. And good morning, Duck. Good morning, Jim. Hope you're all well. Duck says the Sixers still suck. Noom's dropping Phillies comments. We'll talk Phillies later in the show, I am sure. But Sixers fans are a weird bunch. For the last 3, 4, 5 months, this team sucks. Trade Joel, trade Paul George, trade this, trade that. This team sucks. Daryl Morey this, Daryl Morey that. Nick Nurse this, Nick Nurse that. Then the NBA draft happens. And you know what happens? All of a sudden, VJ Edgecombe comes the savior of this franchise. Johnny Broom, who was poorly rated. Oh, don't worry, he's going to be great here. Who's going to stop this team from cooking? I love that phrase from fans. Who can stop this team now? They're going to cook. They're going to eat. Let me say something first and foremost, and I'm going to get to these comments in a second. I like VJ Edgecombe. I think he is a talented young prospect with a huge ceiling. He could turn into a damn fine player. But the problem is that this Sixers team, the Sixers franchise, still is trying to sell us on the fact that Joel Embiid and Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, the three-headed monster, is going to be healthy and contend for a title next year. VJ Edgecombe does not solve the fact that Joel Embiid's going to play 20 games. That we're already getting, open-ended answers on Joel Embiid and his health and recovery. We don't know what Paul George is going to do. We don't know if he's going to be healthy. We don't know if Tyrese Maxey should be healthy. We don't know how Jarrett McCain's recovery is going from his ACL tear. We don't know. The only way you could give me a vote of confidence on this team is if they decided to make changes, adding to it. Adding VJ Edgecombe is not going to repair Joel Embiid's degenerative knee. drafting VJ Edgecombe isn't going to make Paul George want to be an actual basketball player again. None of this is going to happen. And when I put out a tweet on Wednesday night that the Sixers lost 58 games last year, VJ Edgecombe does not solve any of that. The firestorm I took, because people don't understand, it's not about VJ Edgecombe. Yes, if Daryl Morey had some balls, he would have probably drafted Ace Bailey and either held him hostage or gotten a haul for him from one of the other teams. He didn't want to go to Utah, Ace Bailey. Utah still drafted him. Smart move from them. But that's beside the point. You want a good, solid player with potential? VJ Edgecombe definitely has that potential. Now in a very crowded backcourt, but that's another topic that we will discuss. VJ Edgecombe is a great pick if you're tearing it down a little bit or retooling a little bit or understanding the game is changing. It's not a pick you make when you've got Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey, and you're committed to them, supposedly. Yeah, we drafted Johnny Broome, and the Phillies got swept. I like that little link there. VJ Edgecombe is a physical beast, according to Duck, but is not an immediate starter. We could have gotten him later because he's not worth the third pick. Yeah, I don't know if you would have gotten him much later. He would have gone 4 or 5 at worst. So, yes, and maybe not. And if you would trade back in and he wasn't there, what are you really losing? I like the pick. I think he's a good player. But he doesn't solve the biggest issues of Joel Embiid and Paul George on this team. At all. And I don't think anybody was going to do that in this draft. Maybe outside of Cooper Flagg. But that's not the point. The point of my comments are that the Sixers team is still a mess. Judd says, VJ seems like a good pick with potential. I'm not sure what his ceiling really is. I'm not sure. But I think he's going to be well-liked here in Philly. The problem is, where's he even fit right now with this team? Now you've got 4 guards, assuming Quentin Grimes comes back. Nick Nurse ain't playing VJ Edgecombe. He's going to be a DMP coach's decision so many damn times. Good morning, Adam. Hope you're well. You were glad it wasn't Ace Bailey. Look, I'm glad and not glad. I think it's kind of weird because I think taking VJ Edgecombe over Ace Bailey was the safe thing to do. But on the flip side, letting a player like Ace Bailey with with just as minimal talent or whatever, bad attitude, dictate where he goes is a bad precedent to set in the NBA. I actually believe Joe will be healthy for training camp. They never said he will be healthy to start the season. So Daryl Morey's comments on Joel Embiid's recovery on his post-round 1 press conference was something along the lines of, he's working out. I've talked to him just today. He should be ready for the start of camp or somewhere around there. So he's already leaving an open-ended response to Joel Embiid's recovery that's going to lead to, he's still ramping up. It's going to be October 20th, and we're still going to be ramping Joel Embiid up. So I have no faith in Joel being healthy. My college ball knowledge is limited, but yeah, me too, Duck, or Judd. My college ball knowledge isn't great, but I watch a lot of highlight tapes. I watch a lot of, YouTubers breaking down film. I read a lot of articles, so I feel like I've got an understanding of what VJ could be. He's already our longest guard. He'll be a defensive player on this team right from the get-go when he sees the court. So I have no problem with VJ. They have to clean house and get rid of Paul George and Embiid and Morey. Absolutely. And throw Nick Nurse's name in there and Josh Harris's name in there as well, Adam. I was all for Rick's idea of using the third pick to facilitate a trade to get rid of one of those guys. But Daryl Morey, in my opinion, Daryl Morey did not even try to trade Paul George and Joel Embiid. Why? Because he is so adamant that is the way you win an NBA championship with 2 stars, 3 stars. But problem is, one of them is completely broken down, and one is breaking down already. Ace Bailey is an immediate starter and is worth the third pick. Yeah, look, I would have taken a chance on Ace Bailey, probably. And if he would have said, no, I am not coming there, well, you could trade him for a haul. Otherwise, make him sit out. Teach this guy some maturity. Literally two of the worst contracts in the league. Arguably, I mean, you might throw Aaron Nola in there, but the two worst contracts in the city right now, period. In Philadelphia, there are no two worst contracts. Maybe they're top 5, top 10 worst contracts in all of sports at this moment, Joel Embiid and Paul George. Literally the Wizards with Beal and John Wall contracts. Basically, absolutely great point. VJ over Ace and the guy the Hornets got 4th, yes. You can't draft your way out of a front office problems. They need to settle that BS before you can build a team. The thing is, they're not selling. Josh Harris has given Daryl Morey free reins to do as he pleases. VJ plays the 3 in this new NBA. Bailey won't be great. He's already having issues in Utah, and Embiid shouldn't be back until December. All right, so let's break down all of Tim's comments here. VJ plays the 3. There is some of that. There's some potential there. I have read and seen that discussed a few times. For sure, Tim. Bailey won't be great. I don't know. I think Bailey has the higher ceiling than VJ, but his attitude, and he is having issues in Utah because he doesn't want to go there. Well, you know what, Ace Bailey, you're not that special to dictate where you play. You got to go play where you got to go play. You could be here in Philly in a major media market, getting endorsements and sponsorships and everything else, but instead you're going to Utah, Salt Lake City. Good luck with that. Embiid shouldn't be back because you just want to look. I just want clarity on Joel Embiid. If he's not going to be back till December, that's fine. Just tell me. Don't tell me he might be ready for training camp. We'll see. And then tell me, oh, he's still ramping up. Don't drag it along. Put definitive information out there. Some transparency on Joel Embiid. That's all I want. I think Embiid is done. Toast, says Duck. I agree. I don't think he even really wants to play ball anymore. I don't think he loves the game as much as he used to. I can't comment on the love aspect of the game, but I could see that he might not want to play anymore. The pain, the body breaking down, it's tough. But he's got $200 billion worth of reasons to keep playing right now. So he's not going to go away. If Joe had Paul George were 5 years younger, this would be a great draft to get a potential sixth man of the year and rebounder, but we have to live in reality. Exactly. My God, the Nola contract is so bad. It is. But I don't know. The Joel Embiid and Paul George contracts may be a little bit worse. Welcome to the Broom Room. Is that what we're calling it, Brian? The Broom Room? Johnny Broom? I don't know. I didn't hear the guy till last night when he was drafted. I watched a couple highlight clips, read a couple snips on him. Seems like he may have already peaked. So he might not be getting the greatest of player. Maybe he's a depth piece. Maybe he's a back-end rotation guy. I don't know. It's not what we needed, I'll tell you that. If they picked Bailey, they own his rights. He doesn't sign that contract. He's not playing the NBA. Where do you want to play? Exactly. Bailey isn't KD, who went second. He's not LeBron, Carmelo, etc. He's a good player at 19. He's not generational. His agent is true garbage that ruined his son's chances of an NBA career. Look, whoever it is, his agent, his dad, whoever it is, Ace Bailey's been getting some bad advice for the last year. 1,000%. And he's not KD. He's not any of those guys. But he has the raw athleticism, the length that we needed. And you know what? Like him or hate him, I don't care. I hate the precedent of him dictating where he goes and what he wants to do. That is. It's just, it's not a good look. And and no offense, I blame the NILs on this. These guys get agents now while they're still in college. They're already making millions and millions of dollars. So they feel that they're above the system. Well, guess what? You're not. You haven't proven a damn thing in the NBA yet. We have to focus on the fact we have a really good guard rotation and someone that can easily replace Yabu. Not that you want Yabu anyway. All right, so we do have a very good guard rotation. Now we have 4 guards. Presumably they're going to sign Quentin Grimes. So you got McCain if he's healthy, Maxey, Grimes, and VJ. Great. Yabu, I didn't say I don't want to sign Yabu. I don't know if we can sign Grimes and Yabu. And I heard a few people tweet out and comment that Broom is going to replace Yabu. I have heard that, and that's maybe. I think we overvalue Yabusele a little bit. Is he a good, nice player? Yes. He should never be a starter. He's a rotational guy, a bench body. Shouldn't be a starter in the NBA, in my opinion. But are we going to run? Maybe we run a 3-guard lineup. Maybe you start Maxey McCain or Maxey Grimes and VJ at the 3. Maybe that's what they do. Broom's not Joel Embiid's replacement, pump man. Not even close. Not even remotely close. Broom will be the new Paul Reed. TJ McConnell fans will be in love with him. When he drops 20 and 10 in the first summer league game, Tim, people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, the Broom is sweeping the locker." They're gonna be sweeping Sixers Nation with the Broom. All right, but then the guy will be a DMP for 20 straight games. What's up, Rolo? Sorry. I really like Broom's game and was hoping the Sixers would grab him. He's solid across the board, good post-up game, and creates space. He's a terrible defensive player from what I understand and what I've read. He will help us. Maybe. I'm not sure. Yabu was very overvalued. His foot speed sucks. Yeah, look. Yabu's a nice player. I like the story, him earning his second chance in the NBA. I do. But losing him in free agency is not the end of the world, in my opinion. Problem is people don't watch college basketball and have no idea what they're talking about. Look, that's a fair assumption. I've been told about 47 times in the last 24 hours I should stick to football because I'm a football guy. I don't ever say I watch a lot of college ball, but I watch and read and study a lot this time of year. Okay? And just because they're great in college basketball does not mean they're going to translate well to the NBA. When they get up against bigger, stronger, more physical, more athletic, men. So Broom might be something. But I don't think Broom is a lock to even be a rotational guy in the NBA. VJ, at the very least, is going to have a long career in the NBA. Whether it's as a star, a starter, a bench guy, we don't know. But Broom, I think the book is still out on him. Sixers won't be a contender for at least 10 years. Damn, Adam. Break my heart, but true. There's a very good chance of that. Who did the Sixers draft? They drafted VJ Edgecombe, guard, 6'5", Baylor. Good pick. Safe pick. Sixers are going to bring back Run TMC. What? Yeah. Yabu was out of the league for so long for a reason. He dunked on LeBron in the Olympics and got another shot. Wasn't great. Look, Tim, maybe you're just repeating what I said, or if you didn't know, I said this 1,000 times last fall. I said it during the Olympics. When that play happened, I said he will get an NBA contract because of that dunk alone. It's not a knock on him. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think there's definitely a role on NBA teams for Goreshan Yabusele. I don't think he's a priority, so to speak, for the Sixers. Good mid-range game for Broom. Okay? I mean, we've had a lot of overrated small centers on this team over the years. Paul Reed, Charles Bassey. I'm trying to think of the other one. Not a Dembona. There's another one mixed in there. We don't need any more of that. I mean, you already got Joel. You already got Bona. You needed a forward. You needed a 3 and D guy. You needed things other than him at that spot. He's not a terrible defensive player. Did you not watch the tournament at all? I watched a little here and there. I didn't watch a lot of tournament. I said I'm not a college basketball fan. What I do is before the draft, I start studying and reading all the accounts that I trust. That's what I do. And I get okay opinions on him. At best. Yabu sucks on day. He's okay. He's a hustle and heart guy, but he's not athletic enough. Sign Grimes, let Yabu go. He said, I agree. And I think, in all reality, that probably will be what happens. Rolla. Flyers will be a contender before Sixers. There's a chance that the NHL draft is this weekend. I don't know. I know even less about that. 12 watching, only 7 likes. Guys, like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll. Let's go. Do your best. Boo and bozo. Yeah? I'm over it, Brian. I'm over the Embiid era. I'm over the Paul George. I'm over the Morey era. I'm over the Josh Harris era. And I don't think they understand. But you know what annoys me so much is that for as much as people are frustrated, all they got to do is draft a player, and all of a sudden, the overreactions that this team is going to be a contender now because of what went down the last 2 nights makes me sick to my stomach. It's not a knock on Broom or Edgecombe. It's not. I like those kids. I like VJ more than Broom, but whatever. I hope they develop. But to think VJ Edgecombe and Johnny Broom are going to fix Joel's knees, make Paul George want to play basketball again, it's crazy. Complete and total crazy. How excited Sixers fans instantly became after this NBA draft. It's ridiculous. Let's put it this way. Sixers had a solid mid to good overall draft, but nothing that will help the Sixers this season or maybe even next season. I think it's a fair way to say it, Duck. It's solid. Not a high ceiling, not a low floor. It's solid. The Sixers team is being built again the same way it was last year. On the backs of Joel Embiid's knees. And if Joel Embiid can't stay healthy, this team's going to lose 58 games again next year. Plain and simple. Broom isn't bad on defense. Position and awareness are good. He can hit threes. He can rebound well. See, everybody gives me a different breakdown on Johnny Broom. Flyers most likely will come to realize that Zagaris trade is a 1-year rental. For someone they would want way too much money to re-sign, it would repeat history. I mean, that's a possibility. It's a very Howie Roseman type move. Sixers fans are so miserable. I get it, but they are intolerable. No, I don't think we're miserable. I was 3 years old the last time the Sixers won an NBA championship, Rolla. 3. I'm in my 40s now. We want to see. We've been told a bill of lies so often. We're told this, we're told that. We're actually not told anything. We're given these little non-transparent answers to what we want to know. I watched every damn game in the 10-win season back then. Every game to show my support. And it's not working. But the Sixers team thinks that it still can work. It's okay to say, what we did is not working. Let's pivot. Let's retool. Let's rebuild. It's okay. The NBA Finals prove you don't need 3 big stars to win an NBA championship. You need a team, a well-built roster. It's not miserable. It's frustration. There's a difference between being miserable and frustrated. Okay? I am frustrated with this team. If Paul George plays well the first half of the season and doesn't fall apart, they could move him at the deadline and get out from under that contract. I think they should have probably tried to do that already, but I don't know. What you think Morey is thinking right now, 8:22, well, it's 8:24 now, but so I'm 2 minutes behind on the comments. What do I think Morey is thinking right now? He's thinking, I got to get myself a crumble cookie because I just cooked the NBA this week. That's what he's thinking right now. Good morning, Todd. Joel and Podcast Paul is the way of the young guys growing to maturity. Yeah. They're not going to help grow these guys. Who was there? Who went? I don't know if it was in person or on the phone. Who went and greeted VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey? Joel and Paul weren't available for the NBA draft. So, yeah. The problem holding the Embiidless Sixers back is Nurse. Nurse is a problem, too. He's not good with the young players. He'll play Lowry over VJ. Yeah, look. Nick Nurse is a problem. And, it's crazy because he played a lot of young players with the Raptors. If you think back to that Raptors team that won the championship, they had Kawhi Leonard, and they had a bunch of young rising stars. Siakam was still young. Fred VanVleet was kind of an unknown. I don't know how young he was. OG Anunoby, all those guys were young. He played them. He won a championship with them. You're 41, so you weren't even born when they won a championship. I get it, but Maxey, McCain, Grimes, Edwards, and VJ is a really good young nucleus. But you can't forget Embiid, Rolla. Embiid is still here. Embiid is taking up 30, 40% of your salary cap. Okay? Edwards is okay. I see why people like that, but with Nick Nurse, what are you getting there? You can't forget Embiid. You can't forget Paul George. They are here. And according to Daryl Morey, not going anywhere. A good young nucleus means nothing. Nothing. If Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey aren't leaning on them over the aging, falling apart stars. That's the problem. I think that's exactly what Morey said in his own way. I think he is trying to move forward and will have to make a splash in a way he ain't used to. Maybe. It's good, but they need another big. I mean, if Joel Embiid plays 20 games again this year, it's a Den Bona and Johnny Broom. I don't know. Phil, get out of here. You're only a football guy. I'm only a football guy. I love that. You don't know ball. Stick to football, Joe. I know you saw that thread. We're going to pull that thread up here in a few minutes, and we're just going to go over some of the asinine comments that I was told on that poll or on that thread on Twitter. I mean, hilarious the way people that don't know me. I'm a clown. I'm this. I'm that. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Hey, you know, Joe, the only positive about I'm a football guy, at least I'm a guy now. At least people think I have some knowledge on one sport. Little do they know I know nothing about anything. He had to play them players in Toronto. He didn't have the established vets that he loves. Yeah, and that's fair. And that is the right answer to my statement, Tim, for sure. The East is wide open. Let's see what they do. Look, that's a good point, and that is exactly why Daryl Morey is running it back. Because the Pacers are going to be out without Harper. How good will they be next year? The Celtics are selling off everybody because of Tatum's injury. How good will they be? Which is crazy because I think without Tatum, they still could have probably contended. Okay? Giannis might be on the move. Dame Lillard's out for the year. Yes, the East is wide open. Orlando's gotten better and getting and growing up and maturing. Detroit's getting better, growing up and maturing. You still got the Cavs who win a lot of basketball games. The Sixers are still so far from the top of the Eastern Conference. Todd says, Morey blows and Nurse is not far behind. Why don't you throw Josh Harris's name in there, Todd? Let's be honest. If Embiid falls out, they need to just build up the Maxey and VJ combo going forward. They need to get out of those big. They do. So here's my question. You say Maxey and VJ. Big picture. Not just this year, the next 3 years. Is VJ ahead of Jared McCain in the pecking order? What's the pecking order of the guard room if VJ Edgecombe becomes a real good NBA player? That's what. So they have 4 guards now, assuming they keep Quentin Grimes. What's the pecking order of those guys? I think that's a very. If you want to be positive, you want to look toward the future. If you don't want to be negative about the Sixers, what do the Sixers do in the guard position? Who starts? Who comes off the bench? Who's got the biggest big picture future on this team? I do know pizza, Adam. Absolutely. Guys, a lot of people starting to jump in. 16 people on YouTube right now. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you share it, and make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. So I would have died laughing if they turned to you and said you're only a pizza guy. Yeah, they could have. They could have. I'm just a pizza guy. I don't know sports. What's up, Keith? Too many guards on this team. Okay? That's a possibility, Keith. It's a very strong possibility, and that's my question. What do the Sixers do with the guard room now? But here's the question. Who do you trade then? If you have too many, and I don't think you have too many at this point, because they're all, most of them are pretty young. Who do you trade? Do you trade Quentin Grimes? Do you trade Jared McCain? Who do you trade? I've said this for quite a long time. Morey isn't a winner. I said since the day he was hired. He likes stars, splash, but lacks substance. Hasn't won a damn thing. He likes to hear his name. He's the smartest thing. You know what I said to somebody last night? Everyone kept telling me, have faith in Daryl Morey because he's great at drafting. And yeah, he's drafted a lot of great players, right? But those great players have brought Daryl Morey exactly how many NBA championships? How many? 2, 3, 4, 5? No, none. 0. Zilch. So all this great drafting means absolutely jack shit because he doesn't know how to build a damn basketball team. I'm an A1 hater. Well, thanks, teacher. I'm not a hater. I'm a realist. I realistically look at the Sixers team and say they are not moving in the right direction, big picture. Because Daryl Morey is committed to Joel Embiid and Paul George and not making a change. The definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Hate to tell you, he said he's run back before all these guys got hurt and wanted trades. Morey's not good. Broom, broom, room gets a lot counters and go to. Yeah, look, I love it. I love the broom, broom, room. I remember when we drafted 3 centers in a row when losing on purpose. That made me just, yeah. Norman's Noel, Joel Embiid, and Jelly Okafor. Yeah, that was next level thinking right there for the Sixers. VJ is much better than McCain, better defensively, more athletic, but they play 2 different styles. Think Anthony Edwards. I heard a few people tweet out Anthony Edwards. Not that he's going to be that good, but he has that kind of baseline and all. VJ will be talent and a highlight on the regular. Okay. Negadelphia, no, same old stuff. The city goes week to week with our team. We live with our emotions, first off. And me, I'm not negative. I'm realistic. That's it. There's a big difference between being negative and realistic. I am realistic. I call a spade a spade. I don't call that spade a heart. He'll bring back Kyle. He absolutely will. And that would be hilarious if he does. What is up, Mitchie Pooh? How does Mitchie Pooh feel about the draft in the Sixers? My audio's been off since I got this new mic, and I can't figure out the settings yet. I'm trying. I'm working on it. I don't know. I think McCain will be the best of them. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. The G contracts aren't going to drag us down and have a decent flexibility to pick up. I'm going to listen to something here real quick. The G contracts aren't going to drag us down and have a decent flexibility. Yeah. Morey has drafted 1 great player and 1 who could be great, but was really good for a month in his rookie season. Yeah, I like that way of looking at it. I do. All right, just checking in. Just checking on the audio. 11 more subscribers. Something like that. I don't think 11 more. Not 11 more. 11 more only puts us at 559. Not what you want. All right? Not what you want. Morey should have stayed on an advanced scout, but we are in the land of the Peter Principle dude. Might as well bring back Tobias if we run it back, and at least he plays a full season. Yeah. The GM can't fix a team with an off-injured superstar. Exactly. But to say, Tech, and good morning, Tech. Good to see you on the show this morning. The GM can't fix a team with off-injured superstars. Well, when you decide that that's the best you can do, that you don't want to make a change, that you just want to keep running it back, that's the problem. Now you can't just trade all injured superstars that have big contracts. But saying doing the same thing is going to work this time, trust me. That's the problem. It's a big problem. What does Goose from Top Gun have to do with Sixers or NBA basketball? What? I don't know. Answer it. Oh, thank you. I just got them. I like them. I like the noise-canceling headphones. Wait till the Eagles lose the game. The fans will act like, dude, what's wrong with overreacting in the moment? It's called passion in your fandom, okay? I was excited when the Phillies won 9 games in a row. I was pissed off when they lost 3 to the Pirates. I'm pissed off that they just got swept by the Astros. What's wrong with living on the emotional edge with your sports team? Why is there so much wrong with that? Sixers already waited too long, and Embiid doesn't have the value you used to have. Absolutely great. To trade him, you're going to have to trade other assets to get off of him. No doubt about it. So you need to get one of those spit filter to put in front of that mic. I have a cushion. I have one. Okay? But you guys say when I do that, you can't hear me now. Is that the case? Can you not hear me now? Yeah. See, I can hear. I can see. You lose. The audio goes off. I don't know. I got to work on this. I think I got some bad mics here. I think these new mics did not come very well. I got some emails to send out next week. 21 more subs. Exactly. Mitchy Poo can't do math. He cannot. Good morning. Yeah, exactly. The Phillies can run it back and see where they are. Can't score runs. Exactly. The Phillies are the definition of what running it back when it's not good enough. What happened? That's a biased comment you just breezed over is far more salient than you might think. All right, I'll go back to your Tobias comment. I have no problem with Tobias. You've watched enough of my shows. You know that I'm a Tobias guy. I had no problem if they would have brought him back at the right price. Does the owner really care because he's a Commanders fan? Exactly. We have an absentee owner with the Sixers, Todd. Absentee owner. Ant Edwards played Goose in Top Gun and was married to Melanie Griffin in Top Gun. Okay. Gotcha. I'm actually honestly not a big Top Gun fan. So, Morey is a reactive and not proactive. He's operating under the guise of a 3-star system that isn't legit. Exactly. Yeah, I don't even know if he's reactive to an extent. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well, and I'm sorry that you lost your friend Terrence, my man. Very sorry. Another year of $11 tickets for Sixers and no Embiid for over 20 games a year. 20? Him missing 20 games it would be fantastic. A lot quieter. Exactly. So when I put the cover on, I can't. Because when you base your opinions off of emotions, typically your opinions will be misguided. No. Okay? Opinions and living in the moment are two different things. My opinion is the Sixers team is going to fail because of Daryl Morey. Because of bad decisions. Living and breathing on a loss is just overreacting to emotion. There's a difference between overreacting to the emotion in the moment and forming an opinion, big picture on a team. Not there a filter that looks like a disc that you put in front of your face. I actually have one of those. I think I have one of those. I'll have to go dig that out somewhere. I have one of those, Duck. I will work on that. Change the open mic sensitivity. But what button is that? I've got effect volume, VC pitch, Dodge, SP, Echo, STR, Echo, LEN, bass, treble. They're the buttons I got on this thing. Who hired Morey anyway? Well, Josh Harper. Too many that interrupt feedback is hate. Interpret feedback as hate. Last I checked, no one was perfect and many opportunities for improvement. If you're not trying to improve, what are you doing? Todd, it's a very valid opinion to say you're over Embiid. I'm right there with you. Exactly. Everyone condolences. What's up, Mr. Met? Yeah, we got swept. I know. Okay, hold on. So text me that. Text me what to look for specifically, and I will look into it. Look, I'm on vacation all next week. I'm in the Outer Banks starting Sunday morning for 7 days. We will do shows from the Outer Banks, but I'm going to have a lot of free time to play around with stuff. So I'm going to bring the whole setup. I don't know when we'll be doing shows. We will be doing shows. Some trending to the PMs, some AMs, maybe some lunchtime specials. We'll see. So I got plenty of free time next week to play with settings, just so you know. But guys, for those that are just tuning in, you're watching Trending the AM. If you haven't, hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe. Oh, I'm gonna have a blast. I've been tapped out mentally for a while, Tech. Very tapped out mentally for a while with work and life. Problem is, that's a very expensive trip when you're closing the shop for a week and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I need it, and the mental stress that I've gone through in the last couple months. You know what's the worst is this past week. You had the storms on Thursday last week, destroying Kennett Square and power and everything else. Major effects on business. Then you had the massive heat wave this week, that has just completely drained all the energy out of me. On top of being super busy this week in a pizza shop that the little thermometer I keep on my counter to check food said the air temperature was 125 by the oven the other day. I'm just so mentally drained. OBX is beautiful. It is. We got married, my wife and I, down in Cape Patterson, the Outer Banks, almost 19 years ago. Love the Outer Banks. Haven't been in 5 years, but we were going twice a year for a while. Trending in the Outer Banks. Yeah, trending in the Outer Banks. That's what we're going to be, basically. Trending on the. I don't know if I could set up shop on the beach. Sand and electrical equipment. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea, but we do have a sound front house. So I'm going to try to find a spot on an outside deck overlooking the sound, and we'll do like a waterfront, sound front episode of Trending in the AM. A lot of whiskey and brews next week, and a lot of Jimmy. Yes, and yes. Pretty much. The house has got a pool. We got a boat dock. I think somebody's renting a boat. You know, we got a big family going down. There's going to be some fun family events happening down there at this trip. There's 11 of us staying in the house. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. And there will be a lot of whiskey and a lot of brews drank next week. Sixers need to draft Willie Stroker, Justin Sider, and you got me started on that. And I pumped the brakes on that one. Pump the brakes on that comment right there. So far, on our poll question that's going on the YouTube page, should grade the Sixers draft? A, B, C, or they still suck? A and B are at 40%. C and they suck got 10% so far. So if you're watching, please vote on the poll. I want to dive into this whole, where does VJ Edgecombe fit into the guard room? Not what do you think Nick Nurse will do, because what Nick Nurse will do is anybody's guess. He almost got me to read all those things. That's the thing. When you're rolling through, we're at 112 comments so far in 42 minutes. When you're rolling through the comments, I'm trying to catch up. I fall minutes behind. Yeah. Sometimes things slip through. Almost completely. Almost lost that one. So, Rollout wants me to be positive. Rollout wants to have positive comments and commentary. So let's talk positively. VJ Edgecombe is here. Okay? You've got a room now with Tyrese Maxey, Jarrett McCain, VJ Edgecombe, and presumably Quentin Grimes. So the question is what the rotation should look like. Do we have to move on from one of those? Because also, remember, we got Kelly Oubre, presumably Eric Gordon as well, God forbid that he even sees the court. What should, not will, because we know what it will be. What should be? Should it be VJ starting next to Tyrese Maxey, Jarrett McCain, and Quentin Grimes coming off the bench? Is that what should happen? I want to know what we think should happen with this guard room. They said Edgecombe got in the gym the next day of being drafted. I like the kid. I think that's right. I think Tyrese Maxey went to see him. Paul George and Joel Embiid were unavailable, which is crazy. VJ will be the starting guard for the Sixers by next season. They will choose two off the bench. Grimes, two off the bench guards, and trade or cut the other. VJ equals Westbrook or Butler or Dwayne Wade or other. You're asking me which one. I've heard comparisons to all three. Obviously, let's hope he's Dwayne Wade, right? I think putting any of those expectations on him right away is probably not good for his growth. I think you need to be patient and let's see what he got. Let's hope he's a combination of Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, though. Is Lowry coming back somehow? Probably. No, I think he said he wanted to play one more year. And knowing Nick Nurse or Daryl Morey, he'll do it. NBA is going more positionless. VJ will play the threes, athletic. So are you going to start Maxey, McCain, and VJ all the time? Or Grimes starts as a better passer than McCain? So you're going Grimes, Maxey, and VJ as your starter. And this is not to be negative. I'm just going to throw this out there. How good is Quentin Grimes? Quentin Grimes played well for the Sixers last year. Put up a lot of numbers in a losing situation. That's the question. Is he really that good? It's like talking about Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper being two great players on Rutgers, but they lost more games than they won, didn't make the tournament. So is Quentin Grimes really that good? Is Quentin Grimes a potential trade asset? If you sign and trade him, he's a restricted free agent. You can match his contract. Someone might want to offer something big. I don't know. Grimes can keep teams honest with his shot as well. The three-guard rotation will be better. And I get it, and I like your thought process and your reasoning behind the positionless basketball, et cetera. I really, truly do, Tim, because I think that is the way the NBA is going, 100%. All right? And not going in that direction, already is in that direction. We call them guard and center and forward, but we all know we are moving to positionless ball. Absolutely agree. I'm not a Daryl Morey fan. What's up, Rick? Good morning. But he had a really good draft. Hey, he seems to have a lot of really good drafts, Rick. The point is, what do those really good drafts really ever result in? The dude's never built a winner before. Lowry is a player option. He's going to exercise it. Okay, gotcha. I knew he said he wanted to come back. I didn't know it was a player option. Is it true we're going to lose Yabusele? Nothing is true. Okay, nothing is 100% at this point, Todd. If you read between the tea leaves, it definitely seems like Yabusele is going to be gone. Okay, he's an unrestricted free agent. He's going to go somewhere where he gets the most money, and it's going to be money that the Sixers probably can't afford because they're up against the tax apron, the second level of the tax apron already, and re-signing Yabusele will cost them a lot of money. So I don't think they do. Not a good draft, a solid draft for the future, but nothing helped this season. The only way anything was going to help this season, Duck, is if you traded, some of those big stars. VJ is going to be Iguodala, only better. There's nothing wrong with being Andre Iguodala, Rick. Nothing wrong with that at all. The problem with Andre Iguodala's career in Philly was they wanted him to be Kawhi Leonard, or they wanted him to be a 25-point scorer. They wanted him to be a triple-double machine. No. Iguodala, the version you saw of him when he won the NBA Finals MVP with the Warriors, that was the kind of Andre Iguodala that should have been in Philly. But we wouldn't let him be that here in Philly. Grimes is serviceable. I think that's what I'm trying to ask. Is he just serviceable? I don't think he's the star people think he can be. He put up numbers as the only option. Exactly. He's talented, but most must play within a few new style is not the man. Grimes can have a good year, and they can move him at the deadline. I think you're saying basically what I think, but people tell me I don't know ball. Stick to football. So I don't know. Maybe I'm doubting myself because I've been told I don't know ball so much. Stick to football. One run in 27 innings. The next 27 innings may bring 30 runs. That has been the issue with this group. Time to sub out some high ceiling with high. Yeah, absolutely great. I know, Nooms, you're itching to talk football or baseball. I know. Duck is a really good draft talk. It was a really good draft. Talk to me about it in 4 years. That's the problem. We're being told we're winning a championship this year. This draft ain't making us win a championship this year. Dante, yes, exactly. This is what I was trying to get to, and I don't know if I got my thought out. We're not moving to positionless basketball. We've been there. This is something that's been going on. When you say we've been there, you mean the NBA. You don't mean the Sixers. The Sixers are still position basketball. An old school center, an old school forward. Sixers land is brighter than people think. How can you say that with Joel Embiid's knees, with Paul George? Seriously. My point is that none of these guys are going to help us this season. We won't see anyone from this draft start until next season. I mean, there's a theory that VJ Edgecombe may start, but I don't know. The positionless game requires wings, 6'7", 6'10" athletes that can guard the perimeter and shoot. Keith, exactly. And BJ's what, 6'5"? We don't have that. I've been begging and dreaming of getting a 6'8", 6'9" athlete for the outside for ages. Who knows when Bryce Harper's coming back? I would guess the end of July. That would be my best guess. Somewhere between the 20th to 25th of July is my guess. And that's conservative. Iguodala was drafted to be the next Iverson, the next star. He was misused. Exactly. Andre Iguodala could have had a great career here in Philadelphia if he was used right. Got to see things from an optimistic point of view. I'm trying. I don't think you have to be optimistic. I don't think you have to be negative. I think you be realistic when you look at it. There is potential from these players. Do I trust the team? No. Do I trust that there's potential in these players? Absolutely. Was drafting VJ Edgecombe a good pick? Yes. Was there some safeness in it versus Ace Bailey? Absolutely. WIP guys don't know crap about crap and they still comment. You are fine. Oh, I know I'm fine. I'm more making fun of the people that think I'm not fine. Sixers should have drafted a knee surgeon at 3. Absolutely. Does VJ Edgecombe, did he go to pre-med or something? Was he studying pre-med at Baylor? I mean, that's the big issue, right? BJE feels more like an Alex Caruso that you hope develops into a better version. But the Iggy, we tried to make him more than he was. That was a big issue here. Absolutely. And he left here and he went on and it became much better. I kind of see the Alex Caruso. Maybe Alex Caruso is his floor. Maybe Iguodala with the Golden State Warriors is ceiling. Would that be the best way to put it? The Phillies are fine. Don't jump off the bridge, people. We're not even talking about the Phillies. We're not. My neutral stance is I think being neutral is very optimistic. Exactly. Absolutely. The Sixers are wasting Maxey's career. They're wasting Maxey's smile. That's for sure. What's up, Dante Hollis? Solid draft. We weren't going to win a chip anytime soon until we get absolutely. So the problem is how. How do they get rid of them? Are we just riding it out for the next 3 years and we're going to be miserable Sixers fans for 3 years? And then we'll see? Or do they eventually find a taker for one of these contracts? I don't know. I think we're pretty cheerful today. I don't think there's too much negative going on today. You always see the conversation as negative. When I see it as just a conversation, he'll be back. The only thing I'm basing my expectation, Rick, on Bryce Harper is he had the same thing last year, and his statements were that he was hurting in the playoffs. As soon as the season ended, mid-October last year, he said he didn't go pain-free till December. 2 months. So I'm assuming 2 months, which would put us at the end of July, approximately, if you wanted to get 100%. Now, if you wanted to play with a little bit of pain still, then maybe he's back sooner. There aren't tons of 6'7", 6'10" great players. The 6'4", 6'7" guys are more abundant. That's why people love Bailey's upside, but VJ is the better player for the team and league. The only reason why I wouldn't have drafted Ace Bailey is because of the attitude. The only reason why I would have drafted Ace Bailey is because of the attitude. Someone needed to grow that. And you know what? I give props to the Utah Jazz. You know what? I don't care about your attitude. You're coming. We're taking you. We're not passing you up. Grow up and play here. Leave in free agency if you want. Or sit out and don't play basketball. But we're not going to let you dictate what we do. Trying to hype people up about the Phillies. Anthony. People said Dwayne Wade was too short or too small and too old, 24 when he came into the league. Isn't the Johnny Broom guy a little older too? I'm not sure. Sounds like do you want us to think he's going to be the next Dwayne Wade? I think if you put too high of expectations on the young kid, then you set yourself up. We're just talking about where he's going to be this year because we are being told we are going to contend for a championship this year. That's all we're talking about. I don't think there's been one negative thing said about BJ yet today. I don't think there's been one. 76ers top 4 seed in the playoffs this season. Call me out on it. I mean, can they be the 4 seed if Joel Embiid plays 60 games and Paul George plays 70? Absolutely. Absolutely they can be. But that's assuming that magically, Joel Embiid's knee is going to be okay. And you can't predict that. You just can't right now. You see some of the previous threes like Jordan, and you see this year, and you see that half full glass. Smoke pot, eat pot. Sorry, Wade was 21, but spent time in college. Okay. Bailey gonna be a nightmare. Glad the Sixers didn't eat that. Yeah, no. Look, I agree. He's a poison right now. He's also getting some very bad advice. So maybe you have to think, and the Sixers weren't the place for this because they don't have that leader that could take him under the wing and teach him to grow up. I don't know if Utah does either. He is only 19 years old or 18 years old. We were all doing dumbass shit and acting stupid at 18, 19 years old. That's the only. If the Sixers would have drafted him, my theory would have been, well, you know what? When I was 18, I skipped a lot of college classes. When I was 18, I did a lot of dumb things that I shouldn't have. That would have been my reasoning to hope that he would be okay here. But you're right, he was a poison. Oh, what's up, Danny? This year, many European players were selected in the draft. A few years ago, they would hardly have selected European players. Yeah, when are the Sixers ever going to draft a European player? When are we ever going to get that? Do we even want that? I don't know. What's up, Adam? The Sixers are the most underachieving team in history. Great comment. Underachieving or just blind? The front office is blind to the situation at hand. Billy's bats have gone cold. This too happens around every part. Look, they might score 30 runs this weekend. Boom. Again, I'm just letting the Phillies season play out. Yeah, my emotions get the better of me from time to time, and Rick will call me out for it. Whatever. I'm just letting the season play out because the regular season doesn't matter. The Phillies are making the playoffs, no doubt about it. It's will the bats show up in October? That's all that matters. I'm not stressing good or bad about the Phillies. I might, again, get a little heated in a moment. I'm not worried about the Phillies. It don't matter because they're going to be in the playoffs. Bailey's agent, Cooper, told his son to go to the NBA when everyone said one more year and be a top 5 pick. His kid plays in France now. Bailey getting bad advice. Bailey's getting horrendously bad advice. Bleepity bleep Bailey and his attitude. I'm not giving a person a job or refuse to interview for the position. Exactly. What job would you get, Dante? Have you ever gotten a job without going to the interview? Seriously. Like, if he refuses to play for Utah, say tough luck. Let him. I think you could go play in China while your rights are controlled in the NBA. Let him go play in China this year. Who cares? Screw him. Other failures. Absolutely agree, Adam. Bailey didn't even go to Utah he didn't even go for the intro presser. I didn't hear that. I had a very long, busy day yesterday, so did not hear that. That is comical, Tim. I don't know how we haven't gained a subscriber today. 548. Come on, like, share, subscribe. Do your best, guys, or your worst. The French have really started developing programs at National Sports Schools around there. Yeah. The French are developing quite a good basketball players. They've been working on this for almost a decade. Yeah, absolutely agree. I came on a little late today and a total negative, and it's not. Where's the negative vibe? Do you want me to say Daryl Morey's this great executive and this awesome person? I don't think there's been any. I don't understand. Like, the only negative that has come out today is when you're saying we're being negative. Because I don't think there's been any negativity today. Why don't you use that midget that won the dunk contest? Couldn't do any worse. What was his name? Mac McClung. He's won what, like 3 years in a row now? Question: why are NFL players generally better prepared to come into the pros than college basketball players? Because they stay in college a little longer, they grow up, they mature. Okay, they're a little bit more mature. They're not coming into the pros at 18 years old. Okay, that's part of it. Now, I don't know if this is the case or not, but the NFL also has a rookie symposium that all rookies are required to attend, where you learn how to be a pro, learn how to be an adult, learn how to manage your money. The NBA, I don't think, does that. There's a big difference between the NBA and the NFL. European have been drafted a lot over the last 5 years, not this year. The Phillies are fine. This is baseball. Yeah, I said that. I'm not worried about it. Not worried about the Phillies at all right now. Yes. Exactly agree. It's a beautiful day to be a Philly sports. You know why? Because we are now 69. Where's Mitchie Poo today? 69 days away till the Eagles kick off their title defense of their Super Bowl championship. That's why it's a great day. We're only 69 days away. I've gotten jobs before the interview. I got to the interview and they sold me on the job, so it happened. You know, it's funny. I did have one job, and I ended up working for Applebee's for a couple of years. But like 2 years prior, I applied to work for the Applebee's franchise that runs the Philadelphia market. Had the first interview, aced the interview. They make you take a test, pass the test. They said, you've got the job. And the next day they said, well, the regional director wants to meet you. Went and had a terrible meeting with the regional director. I got a call and said, you don't got the job anymore. I'm like, what the hell? I already got the job, and now you're taking it away? I'm getting total Bazoo and Hoot vibes. Yeah. VJ will be a really good to great. Broom will be a positive, but also a huge fan favorite for the dirty work stuff and talent he does have. At 20, he is 22. I know I read that he was older. I couldn't remember what his age is. So the thing is, at 22, how much better can he get? I don't know if there's much more there. He may have already hit a ceiling, which is fine, which means Broom could be serviceable at his level right now. Bills really were owned this last series. That fifth inning of the first game with Trey on, look. The bats went stone cold. They didn't just go cold, the bats. The bats went stone cold. They actually lost a subscriber today, guys. We're now down to 547. Lost a subscriber today. Damn. You guys really don't like my Sixers take. Maybe I should stick to football. We all like the VJ pick. Some things just high to take him, and it won't help this season. Good for you, Duck, but we are talking about multi-year for $1 million career. Ace Bailey also demanded a mansion and 2 luxury cars from the team that drafted. I didn't hear that part, okay? It's like when Caleb Williams demanded ownership stake in the team from whoever drafted him in the NFL draft last year. Like, seriously, what's wrong with you? It's probable that the Phillies will be playing the Astros in the World Series this year. They can enjoy these wins in June. We will enjoy our wins. Well, the track record says that the Astros have our number, but whatever. It's all good. Whatever, you know. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not stressing about getting swept by the Astros right now. Now, getting swept by the Pirates, that was one thing. I was emotional about that. I'm not stressing about the Phillies right now. I'm not. We'll see what happens. October is still ways away. Not stressing about the Phillies. I'm just enjoying you told me to enjoy the ride, Rick. I'm enjoying the ride. I just dropped a great 69 reference, and Mitchie Poo, you weren't listening. The Phillies and Eagles are running on parallel lines. Eagles beating the Chiefs in a rematch. The Phillies will beat the Astros in the World Series. I like the way you think. I do. But until October gets here, I'm not worried. I'm just enjoying the ride, like you say. Broom will be the best of the second rounders from the past few years. Talented and mature, make him a good reserve. I mean, people still love them a Dembona. Mitchie Poo loves the Phillies. Don't be fooled. Yeah. I don't know about that. And what a ride it is. It's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You remember that ride? From like ancient days at Disney World. Little herky-jerky ride that just shakes you all over the place. That's what the Phillies do, but whatever. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride. I can't say I'm enjoying the start of the Sixers ride for the next season. Now, let's be honest. There's still a lot of offseason. You know what's crazy about the NBA draft when you compare it to the NFL draft? The NFL, they start the offseason, then you have free agency, and then you have the draft way down the line. Like the NBA finals ended, 3 days later was the draft, and the league year doesn't start till next week or 2 weeks from now. So we can't even do free agency yet. We might be able to announce trades, but whatever. So it's kind of one of those things where the NBA offseason It doesn't even give you a second to like reset and think. We just dive head first into the offseason. And we still got such a bad taste on the way last season ended. We haven't had a chance to breathe. Let last year settle. A great pick. I'd rather say solid than great. Great means he's going to become the superstar, in my opinion. It's a good, solid pick that could have a role on this team if Nick Nurse gives a minute. Just like last year, we can all see the first round elimination coming. This team can't hit good pitching. Same problem 3 straight years. Maybe. Or maybe this is the year they do it, Anthony. I'm not getting upset about the Phillies anymore. I'm just enjoying it. I don't like roller coasters. For real, I don't like roller coasters. I'm not going to worry about 3 losses here and 4 wins there. I know they will make the playoffs. We'll criticize them come October if you're right. And we'll praise them if Rick's right. Broom will be playing in Turkey in a couple years. Very possible. Very possible. Eyes wide shuts don't work, but you have to hope these are the things that need to happen to affect the change required. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. I'm still pissed off that we lost a subscriber today. One negative, not even negative, one not over-the-top excitement for the Sixers cost me a subscriber. Whenever you're feeling down, remember the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. You can't. Whenever you're feeling down, you can't say the Phillies will be champions. No, they won 2 World Series championships in like 3,000 years. Okay, you can't just assume it. Okay, assumption is the mother of all bleep ups. Okay, they could, they have a chance, sure, but you can't guarantee it. There ain't no guarantee in it. But yes, if you're ever feeling down, remember the Eagles are Super. When I started packing my suitcase last night. I packed like 6 T-shirts in there for this beach trip. I think 4 of them were Super Bowl champion T-shirts, just so you know. Why was Hunter out? I don't even know who that is off the top of my head. Explain why he should have been drafted. There's always haters, Adam. Always haters. I was taking my son to the Phillies game tonight. I really wanted to see Abel pitch in person. Hopefully they score a run tonight, yeah. 3rd championship this year. Never too late to start. It's not. But they got to prove it. So I'm not going to assume anything. But I'm going to enjoy the wild ride. I'm going to enjoy the Mr. Toad, the Phillies wild ride. That's all I'm going to do. You don't want me to be negative, so I'm not. And I'm accepting that. I'm just enjoying the ride. Because that's what I do. I'm just doing it. Trying to pull up this tweet that kind of made my life miserable this weekend on Twitter, or this week on Twitter. Let me do this right here. There we go. I like it that angle there. Trying to pull it up, but then I remembered I tweeted this out. To the trust Daryl Morey because he's a good drafter. I Google searched how many titles has Daryl Morey won, and AI first line has not won an NBA championship. I love it. That's probably why I lost a subscriber right there. So let's find this tweet that has made my life miserable. There it is. We lost 58 games last year. VJ Edgecombe doesn't fix that. Point being was Daryl Morey. Okay? This tweet came from the fact that Daryl Morey is running it back and adding VJ Edgecombe. Now, VJ Edgecombe is not a Met student, isn't going to fix the knees or the injury. That's the problem. People think I don't like VJ Edgecombe. I like the selection of VJ Edgecombe. Well, let's just roll through it. One player isn't fixing the team. No shit. Oh, Mike Bray, he commented. No one will fix that. Yeah, Phil, you're reminding me of the drunken Irish uncle. And I don't have an Irish uncle. Who would have? Maybe they, hold on. Let's go up here to the quote tweet. Because the quotes on this are fantastic. The Sixers should have drafted a knee doctor It's so easy to tell when football is someone's main sport. We lost because everyone was hurt, and they're just bringing all those hurt bodies back. Joel Embiid played 19. Him playing fixes that. Stop being miserable. Oh, so Joel Embiid's just going to magically play 60 games when he never does. Eagles fans have a hard time evaluating the Sixers. No. Did I forget? No, I know how many people were hurt. You're just going to assume they're healthy. 30 different players suit up. We're going to have 30 different players again next year. It's Captain Obvious, I am. These are fun comments right here. Sixers to sign Hunter South guard from Wake Forest. Okay? Yes, I like, yeah, absolutely. Phil had his gummies. I have not had any gummies. Not today. When me and my family did a Boston trip in 18 right after the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl and brought in Eagles gear, it just, I love it. I love it. Morey should be in PR because he markets himself like a winning genius. I love this comment. Love this comment. Their backup catcher may wind up as best catcher in baseball, maybe. Let's go through some more of these great comments. If I don't know ball was a tweet. You know, he's right. I mean, VJ isn't going to fix the 4 best players on the team. Yeah. Look at this. Our starting 5 played a total 15. Yeah, exactly. I should get a job at WIP because of this comment. Yeah. I think there was some sarcasm there. God, some of you fans kill me when you don't get the draft pick you wanted. I wanted VJ. Embiid at 50% fixes that. Is Embiid going to be 50%? No. These comments are killing me. Sixers missed the playoffs once in the past 6 years. Why all the panic? Because this has been while the Phillies have trended and stayed in the same direction, okay? When the Eagles have trended up, the Sixers have been trending down. If you are excited about making the playoffs and that's it, that's fine. But I don't want playoff appearance. I want the best chance to win a championship in all my sports. Plain and simple. Stop letting Eagles fans talk ball. Again, I'm just an Eagles fan. You don't know ball. I'm a clown, too. I forgot that. Aton making an appearance on Trending in the AM. Let me say that the Sixers allowed opposing shooting guards to score at will last season, and BJ could help that. You know what? At least this person here, I can't even see his name on the screen, Q, had a valid point. This stuff's hilarious. All right. I think that was enough of that. Enough of just reading off people's tweets. Because, yeah, Sixers haven't made it past the second round. No. Last year they didn't make the playoffs. The year before that was the first round. The Sixers are falling further and further behind all the teams in the NBA right now. They just are. Embiid has had horrible luck in the injury department. That might be the case. Been like 50 facial fractures in the league. Also, Embiid hasn't learned how to change his style of play, Tim, which could have prolonged his knees, his back, and stuff like that. Okay? He's had a lot of weird injuries, but he's also had a lot of injuries that could have been missed or hit over or stopped by just changing his style. But Joel Embiid refuses to change his style. That's the problem. That's the issue. Everybody, Rick, you want everybody to cheer up, but nobody, I mean, maybe there's been some negative comments. But I think this show has been borderline positive. We understand there's problems with the Sixers. The problem is that the Sixers don't think there's a problem. That's the big issue. The issue isn't the Sixers, the fans, it's the people running the Sixers that don't see the problems that we see. He needs to stop trying to be. I saw that you wrote it. I mean, there's no breaking news there. There's no breaking news that Joel Embiid has to play differently. It hasn't been breaking news for 2 years, Tim. We've been talking about it on this show for 2 years. There's no breaking news here. But Joel Embiid refuses, or nobody's telling Joel Embiid to do it. Not too positive. I disagree. I think today's show has been very solid today in the sense of realistic conversation. Not one person has said VJ Edgecombe is a bad pick or a terrible player. Pretty much everybody has agreed that VJ Edgecombe could turn into a very strong, very good NBA player with a chance to be great. The only negativity on the show has been thrown Daryl Morey's way for assuming that Joel Embiid and Paul George are going to win us a championship. That's it. No one's bashed the Phillies today. Nothing. Today's been a very positive day. You only hear negativity, and that's it. Thanks, Tech. I just love it when Tech's in the comments. It makes my day to see Tech out there. Watch it. It's only when I make NBA shows. Tech knows his lane is basketball only. He's not a basketball guy trying to pretend to be a baseball guy. Like I'm trying to pretend to be a basketball guy right now. Nurse and Rivers run the same style. They keep letting Embiid operate on the wing and try to dribble in. He's not that guy. See, I don't know if it's when it comes to Joel Embiid, I don't know if it's even the coach. It's Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid says, this is what I'm doing. You guys figure out the rest. Joel Embiid has never been told no. You have to do this or else. That's the problem. Joel Embiid had to be told, you're not the number one scoring option anymore. You need to be protected for the playoffs. You can't go diving up and down the floor. You can't be flopping all over the place. You don't need to be dribbling and operating and doing that and taking big hits. It's not what you got to do. I feel good today as a Philadelphia sports fan. Eagles, blah, 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 and the Flyers and Sixers are trending up. Sixers are not trending up. The Flyers hopefully are. You were awfully negative about the Flyers not too long ago. Now because the draft's happening this weekend, you're happy. I thought you hated the Rick Tocchet and the John Torts wait. Like all of a sudden you're positive on the Flyers. All right. I see what you're doing here. Big issue with the Sixers is trying to turn Maxey into a gunner. He ain't a gunner. Well, he's been put into a position to be forced to because of the injury. If Maxey was healthy and had a healthy team around him, maybe he wouldn't have to be that noon. But when Joel Embiid and Paul George are missing the games he's doing, he's got to be the gunner, and that's a shame. Broom is here because Yabu's going to be gone. Absolutely great. The Broom pick, look, we already talked about Yabusele. He's a nice player. I'm okay if he goes. The Broom pick does spell the end of Yabusele, probably. But Broom's not even at Yabusele's level yet. He's got a lot to prove. But as I said, I can't wait until we have a summer league game in Salt Lake City where Broom drops 20 points, 10 rebounds, and VJ Edgecombe goes for 15, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Sixers fans are going to shout from the rooftops. We're winning the championship, right, Mitchie Phil? Without a true point, Harden, the Sixers were the number one 3-point team in the league, or with a true point. Harden, the Sixers were the number one 3-point. Maxey can hit a lot off the ball. They need to let Grimes handle the ball as a starter, facilitate. I mean, possibly, yeah. If they go small ball, you'll see Grimes, Maxey, and BJ all start. I don't think they do. I think BJ will come off the bench to start. But I think Grimes and Maxey should be the starters with McCain and BJ. McCain and BJ off the bench. We'll see. The Flyers got Zegras. I know. And it's a very Howie Roseman-esque move. Getting a guy on a, prove-it season. They hired a UFC fighter to train the team in fighting techniques. Did they really? I did not see that. Where was that information, Rick? I don't know. I didn't learn anything about that. What about the Phil's trend since 2022? Very, very whatever. He might be better than Yabusele. And he is 22, so maybe we don't have as much time to give him time to develop. So maybe he has to get thrown to the wolves right away. But most of what I've read about Broom since last night's draft is that there's not much room for improvement there. What you've seen is what he is. And that might be good. And that's good enough to be a rotational guy in the NBA. We'll see. Time will tell on him. VJ is a starter at the 3. I mean, I know you keep saying it. We'll see. We don't know that, okay? We don't know if that's going to be the case. And you have to have faith that Nick Nurse starts him over Kelly Oubre. Nick Nurse loves starting Kelly Oubre. I've been saying since the day we signed him the first time that Kelly Oubre should be coming off the bench. But my guess is he's not the starter. Their starting lineup, game 1, if everybody's healthy, will be Maxey, Grimes, Oubre, PG, and Joel. That's just the way they do it. Broom vertical jump makes Jokic's vertical jump look like, yeah. I've heard a lot of comments about Broom's vertical jump not being very good. Bill, will Sixers be good next year? It depends on how healthy they are. They have a ceiling of being the 3 or 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, and they got the floor of being the worst team in the NBA. Is there a team in the NBA with a higher floor and lower ceiling than the Sixers, a wider range there than anybody else? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy. The height and the floor of this team. All right, guys, we're coming up the final 5-10 minutes. Like, share, subscribe. Final votes on the poll. Grade the Sixers draft. A, B, C, or they suck. We're at 48% said A, 30% said B, 7% said C, 15% of you said they still suck. So that's where the poll is right now. Let's see. I lost a subscriber today, so we were at 547 instead of 548 now. We've got 16 likes on this video. Not good enough, but please, guys, if you haven't liked the video, subscribe, share it out. Next week, we will be in the Outer Banks. Times to be determined. Make sure you hit that bell on the YouTube screen. It's a notification button. Turn it on so you get the notification. We will be going live from the beach. Well, not physically the beach, but from a beach area. All next week. We just don't know what times each day I'll go live. Some in the morning, some in the afternoon, some at night. We'll try to pump out 4 or 5 shows next week on vacation. If you like Drunk Phil, you'll see Drunk Phil a lot on this show next week. Intoxicated Phil's for sure. Nick Nurse likes vets, not the best players. That's why Lowry and Gordon got minutes. Absolutely. And that's the problem. And that's why I don't believe VJ starts right away. Now, maybe VJ can force Nick Nurse's hand, kind of like Jarrett McCain did, but it's going to take time. Broom comes, a great program. Kid knows winning. Great second-round pick. He'll be a fan favorite. All that is 100% accurate. Will he be great instantly, day one? I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell on a lot of it. But the real true success failures of the Sixers team, if we're staying as Pat, is on the health of those knees of Joel Embiid. I don't even care about Paul George. Whether Paul George plays or not, I don't care. It's all on Joel Embiid. Will Joel Embiid be committed to being healthy for the start of the season, and will he maintain it? That's all that matters. The success and failures of the Sixers organization hinge on Joel. Call me negative, call me a realist, call me whatever you want. I don't have confidence Joel Embiid can play 55, 60 games next year. I just don't. It's a shame. I hope he does. But it is what it is. I'm looking forward to Drunk Phil. You won't see all of Drunk Phil. Okay? I should do a show, find a way to do a show from the hot tub. Do Drunk Phil, from a hot tub. Trending in the AM, drunk from a hot tub. That's what I should do. I don't know how I pull that off with electronics, but I should find a way to make that happen. The Sixers won't have all those old guys this year. That's why VJ starts. Well, I mean, they're losing Yabusele. They might lose Gordon, although he's picking up his player option. Gordon and Drummond have player options, which they'll probably take. We'll see. What we draft is the future, is not for today. If this run back doesn't work, Morey's job might be on the line. Morey's job should have been on the line. Morey's job should have been vacated. But we have an absentee owner. So he gets away with it. Broom looks like Caleb Martin's twin brother. I don't remember. I have to think about it. A buzz fill you can get on Fairway to Heaven every week. Yeah, absolutely. You can. Nothing we can do about Embiid and George being here. They're here, and so are their contracts. So all we can do from here on is send positive vibes. Rick has been taking the positive gummies all morning long, man. I love the positivity, Rick. I can't be like that. I have to look at it from a realistic standpoint. That's what I got to do. I got to look at both sides. We don't have to play the poker hand we're dealt. You can fold the poker hand. You get 7-deuce. You don't have to go all in, even if you're playing the 7-deuce game. If you don't know what that is, you're not a poker player. But you can fold. You can. You could have fired Morey. You could have found a way to reset. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, I missed a comment here. Morey should have been fired. 1,000%. The owner was in his New York penthouse or Miami mansion counting that commander's money. 100%. Yes, yes. Sixers will be top 4 next season in the East regardless of Embiid. I don't know. I don't know about that, Tim. Timmy Tim Boy. Edgecombe and Maxey are the modern day Jordan and Pippen. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pump the brakes on that. That means you've been drinking way too much Kool-Aid this morning. I can't go that far. It can end up being trip sevens. It could be. Could be. But you can also lose because your kicker's not good enough with those trip sevens. That's what belts you in a tournament. Trust me, I know. That's what breaks your bankroll. Trying to win with some junk like that. If Embiid isn't going to work, then you build around Maxey and VJ next season. No, we're gonna struggle through another season. I wish. Said it earlier in the show, Sixers top 4. I mean, if everything goes perfect, everything, maybe, yeah, it's a possibility. But the chances that everything goes perfectly, slim. Boston, Indiana are hurt and pushing next year forward. Orlando, Detroit, Knicks are the only ones to worry about. You got to throw the Cavaliers in there as well, Tim. They won a lot of games last year. I don't know what their all-season's looking like, but they won a lot of games. Knicks have issues. Orlando and Detroit are young. I know the theory that the East is open. I know it. But unless Joel Embiid plays 60 games and is healthy come playoff time, it doesn't matter. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. And guys, it's that time where we start the wrap-up process. Let me reset my screen. We didn't gain that one subscriber back. Up to 18 likes. We dropped a subscriber today. Damn you, bastard. Cost me a subscriber with all this negativity. Maxey McCain, VJ, and good foundation to build around Embiid and George role players. Now and as role players, not too shabby. Those aren't role players, okay? They will never accept being role players. So again, next week, make sure you turn the notifications on. That little bell on your screen, okay? It lets you know when I go live. We will be live from the Outer Banks. Cape Hatteras next week. Soundfront. Gotta check that. Gotta scope the house out on Sunday afternoon when we get there. Find out what'll be the best spot to go live. Sixers have athletes and shooters and defense now. They're not only missing a true point guard. Maybe. Who caught Kelsey's chipping down? That was weird, okay? That was weird, all right? They are role players now. Yeah, try convincing that. Back to this Chippendale invitation. They need to find a way to have Jason Kelsey on Saturday Night Live, reenacting the Patrick Swayze Chippendale thing with what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank on my favorite comedian? They need to have Jason Kelsey reenact that. Maybe good, not good enough. Cape Hatteras, Cape Philly for the week. That's right. Hatteras Live. Hashtag it. That's what we'll be doing all weekend long, or all week long. 76 is going to surprise a lot of people this season. Maybe. And let me tell you something. It would be surprising. Chris Farley. Chris Farley, you know what I'm talking about. When they did that Chippendale dance-off on Saturday Night Live, they need to find Jason Kelsey and someone else to redo that. Don't forget McCain. He already had a nail polish billboard ad on the Schuylkill. Dude, it was the great one of the 3 or 4 greatest Saturday Night Live one-off skits in the history of Saturday Night Live. All right? One of the greatest. You can reenact it. Who would you put next to Jason Kelsey? Find me like who would be the guest host that week that would play the Patrick Swayze role, and then you bring out Jason Kelsey to be his competitor. Who would that be? Who's the hot famous actor right now? What I kind of want to say. Anyway, book's closed. Not that I used the book today. McCain and Steph Curry rookie numbers are. Let's not do not be putting that kind of expectations on a kid just yet. All right, let's see him develop first, okay? Swayze, you're so good. You gotta get picked. I know, so great, so great. And while we understand that you would appeal to the larger women that come in, or the larger women that are clients here, we have to go with it. I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. The way that Chris Farley wasn't afraid, or like maybe he was self-conscious and just was on so many drugs and didn't even realize what he was doing. The way he put his body out there for that scene, crazy. In Living Color versus Saturday Night Live or Chappelle Show. All right, so Chappelle Show is last on the list for me. It's good. There were some great skits. Saturday Night Live, I would probably put In Living Color 1 because what were they on for, like 6 seasons? They pumped out so many great characters and so many great skits in 6 years. Saturday Night Live has been going on for 50 years, but they've had plenty of bad eras, plenty of great eras, and a lot of mid eras of casts and stuff like that, and skits and writing. In Living Color to me is the greatest sketch comedy show of all time. Love In Living Color. There's so many fantastic characters. Okay, they do. Chappelle, Key and Peele. See now, I'm a huge In Living Color. Huge In Living Color. Working for the weekend. Yeah, I'm working this week, but not Sunday. In Living Color to me is phenomenal. Yeah, exactly. I was just ignoring it. Anyway, he dipped out and he came back for the final minutes. Okay. Anyway, it is the final minute. Well, I'm 2.5 minutes into overtime. Guys, everybody have a great weekend. I'll be back Monday at some point on Monday morning. Maybe we'll go like 9 or 10 a.m. Monday morning for the show. I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. on vacation. We'll see what it looks like, guys. We're going to wrap it up. I got to get to work, guys. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk next week live from the Outer Banks. Go Birds! And bubbles up.